All right, if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Did you understand if, I'm sorry, just one moment. I'm reading the paperwork and I'm just trying to make sure something's in here. All right. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Alvarado, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No,
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
no.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes,
Are you a U.S. citizen?
yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, according to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. There's a $500 fine. State recommends community supervision. They're taking in consideration County Court Cause number 711577. There's to be restitution payable to the following: Brian Bonilla, Bonilla, David Chavaria, Mike Rodriguez, Jaime, Hayme, Chavaria, Graciela, Graciela, Rodriguez, Mike Xavier Rodriguez, Destiny, Destany, Bustamante, Daniel Bustamante, DWI Intervention, Victim Impact Panel, and Ignition Interlock for half the term. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Judge.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be assessed at a cap of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 80 hours of community service restitution, 10 days house arrest in lieu of 10 days in the Bexar County Jail. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense of driving while intoxicated with a child under 15, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Good.
State any evidence,
State all proceeds exhibit 1 in all attachments.
any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, here's the dismissal.
Oops, sorry. And let me give this to you. Showing you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulation. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. My client has been on the portable device. We would ask the court to impose that or continue imposing that instead of the ignition interlock. She is no longer driving. It was an affidavit of driving on file with the court in a pretrial motion to ask the court to modify that, which the court did. And we just asked that continue during her probation. Regarding the term of community supervision, we understand that the state is capped at 4 years. We are asking for 2 years. This is Ms. Maribel has very little criminal history. This is her second encounter that has landed us here. She's been very remorseful and very quick and willing to accept responsibility for what she's done or what happened, what transpired. She has insurance, which we feel should be able to compensate anybody who was involved in this. And we'd ask for the court to impose 2 years a probationary period for her.
All right, Ms. Alvarado, are you employed?
Yes, I'm a self-employed,
What do you do?
a house cleaning.
How many children do you have?
Well, living with me 2, but I have 7 on total.
I'm sorry, what?
7,
So you have a total of 7?
yes, but only 2 living with me.
All right, the 2 that are living with you, what are their ages?
4 and 14. He's gonna be 15.
All right, and the other 5, what are their ages?
He's gonna be 20. 20. I'm sorry, I'm
That's okay.
27, 24, and 23.
All right, so they're all adults.
They're married.
Okay. So are you the only person living in the household?
Right now, my brother-in-law, he came to live with me.
All right, is your sister living with you?
No, it's my brother-in-law.
No, I mean, why is your brother-in-law living with you and not your sister? I'm just curious.
Oh, no, I mean, we got divorced. And then I just give him a chance to,
Oh, it's your brother-in-law,
Yes.
not your sister's husband. It's your husband's brother.
yes.
Okay. All right, state, she's saying that she has the portable device.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so they want to continue with the portable device. I'm being told that there's an affidavit of non-driving on file. Are there any vehicles at the home?
Yes,
If there's going to be vehicles at the home, regardless of the affidavit of non-driving, she'll need an ignition interlock on those vehicles because she has access to them. Do you understand?
yes. But I was gonna ask permission not to put it on his vehicle because, I mean, it's his vehicle. you
No,
know?
I mean, I understand, but the problem is you have access to drive it. So if you have a relationship with your ex's family, so much so that the brother-in-law can move in with you, that means that something could come up and he can say, hey, you can drive my vehicle. Then you're driving a vehicle with no ignition interlock on it. And I understand what people will tell me. They'll say, Judge, you can trust me. I signed an affidavit of non-driving, but I've seen plenty of people who sign an affidavit of non-driving, and if they have a vehicle parked at their home, they end up driving it because a neighbor or somebody will call and say, tell the clerk, tell probation, and say, just so you know, this person is driving a vehicle without ignition interlock. And this is a very serious case. So if he wants to park his vehicle at one of the vias, what do you call those vias where you park your car there?
Pardon, right?
All right.
Yeah, if he wants to park his car at a parking ride, he can park his car at a parking ride. But it can't be parked at your house. If it is, it's gonna have to have an ignition interlock on it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm going to sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 4 years. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. Take in consideration County Court Cause number 711577. There's to be restitution, if any, to the following people. And counsel, if there's an issue that comes up with restitution, you can always file a motion and we'll have a hearing on it. but there's to be restitution, if any, to Brian Bonilla, David Chavaria, Mike Rodriguez, Jaime Chavaria, Graciela Rodriguez, Mike Xavier Rodriguez, Destiny Bustamante, Daniel Bustamante, DWI Intervention, Victim Impact Panel Live, Ignition Interlock for half the term. Probation, she will be allowed to do the portable device with affidavit of non-driving. And if there's no vehicle at the residence. So if something were to happen and he decides to do the parking ride and not have the vehicle at the residence at all, then you can do the portable. But if that's not the case, you're going to do ignition interlock for half the term. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I believe I said 2 years suspended and probated for 4 years. There's to be 100 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. And once that's completed, the community service hours will be deemed to be satisfied. Proof of employment within 45 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs, make sure they test for alcohol. There's to be 30 days house arrest in lieu of the 10 days of the Bexar County Jail. And the court is doing that because I note that you have a 4-year-old and a 14-year-old. And I know the 14-year-old could probably take care of the 4-year-old. I babysat when I was that age, but I know it's something the 14-year-old should not be doing because they have school going on. There's going to be field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. And probation, if there are no issues, then you can cease the visitations or do them as you see fit. And there's to be the DWI education course. Probation, is there anything else she needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No,
I'm sorry?
no.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're going to go off the record. Here's the thing. A lot of people, sometimes they have no plan to drink where they're going. And I say sometimes, I would say about 15% of the time, people have no intention to drink at whatever the event they're at. But normally people do know they're going to drink. Anytime you're going to drink, I don't care if you're just thinking, I'm just going to take 1 drink. You need to have plans in place for a designated driver, because guess what? When people begin to be intoxicated, they always think, well, I'm just going to the corner. I got this. And usually they don't have this. And in your situation with those people that were in an accident, and it says they were non-fatal accidents, I'm sure it was fender benders, right? All of those people could be dead because of you. Your 4-year-old who was in the vehicle while you're driving intoxicated, 4-year-old could be dead. And the reason why I say that is because, and I say this, my professor will be upset because I haven't done any statistics on it. But guess what I've discovered? Just in my time on the planet and doing this type of work, usually the person who is intoxicated, I don't care if there's a big fire explosion, if they ran into the beauty salon where everybody is. Usually the person who's intoxicated walks away just fine. Some people say because you're so laid back and loose because you're intoxicated. Usually the person who ends up dying, soccer mom, just taking the children to soccer practice. In this court, I've had people where the grandfather ends up dying, just going on an anniversary to pick his wife up a meal to surprise her. Usually it's the children in somebody's car. These people either end up dying or either they end up getting injured and they're never the same again physically. I had somebody come in telling me as a complainant, I can no longer do the things that I used to do. I'm in constant pain. So when you go someplace and you know you are going to drink, you need to have plans in place. I don't drink alcohol. I don't think it tastes great. So usually I was always the designated driver, which means Sprite with lime was always free for me. People like, Stephanie, we'll buy your meal because you're the designated driver. If you get to a place and you didn't anticipate that drinking was going to be involved, you need to tell them, I don't have a backup plan, so I'm not going to drink at all. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you. Probation will speak with you. Thank you, counsel.
Thank you, Judge.
Rogelio Lara. Hello.
Judge.
Hi. Where's your client?
Should be working.
All right. So where are we on discovery?
Your Honor, I think we have everything that's in the state's possession. I have not quite gone over everything with my client, and there's also some witnesses that I need to interview on our end.
Okay.
But short of that, we're still in conference.
All right. And has an offer been tendered?
No, Judge, I haven't had an opportunity to review this case enough to make an offer.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Rogelio Lara, can I have a 30-day reset? At that time, state an offer will be due.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Once you sign the sign the reset form, you're excused. Thanks for addressing it appropriately for court.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yes. And it's more than 10 days. I want to say, yes. No. Okay. Thank you. Edward Valdez.
Good morning, Anna.
Good morning. All right. Counsel, have you received all the discovery?
I have so far, Judge.
State, were you able to tender an offer?
Judge, not yet. We are reaching out to the complainant in this case. It was a case that just came up a second ago.
All right. So Ms. Ferguson, on this case, if you put it on October 23rd as well, state an offer will be due at that time.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Thanks for addressing appropriately for court.
Thank you.
October 23rd, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I have excused?
After you sign the reset form.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Aaron Alvarado. Who's here for Aaron Alvarado? Okay. Who's here for Angel Gonzalez?
Your Honor, Kathy Thompson was here. She had to run downstairs real quick, but she's gonna be right back.
All right. Who's here for Henry Knight? All right. Just have them, just pull those files when they show back up. Thank you. Mr. McLean, could I see you for a moment? On your case, we're And you know what? Let me ask you this. Is he at,
So the Horizon address. Halfway house kind of thing.
because I'm wondering if, because it's through the federal that he's there, correct? Was he placed there under federal probation or?
No, no.
Okay,
It's,
all right.
it's a state.
All right, then we'll see about getting the investigator here. So if you'll hang around a little bit, we'll see.
Sure. Well, I'm working with these guys trying to work out another case.
Okay.
So I'm waiting on them anyway. So I'm here.
All right, thanks.
We'll figure it out. Thank you, Judge.
All right, we'll see if it rains today.
We got a little last night, so
We did just enough to,
cross fingers.
dirty up vehicles, but not
I was on Fair Oaks, man. We got pounded. I know.
brag, why don't
I
you?
know, right?
And it's September and it's over 100 degrees. What's happening?
I was listening to they had an article in the paper a couple weeks ago. They're saying past September 15th, never had 100 degrees. And we got it yesterday.
Oh, we are, and this is fall.
Brutal. I know. It's horrible. I cannot wait. But
Yeah.
supposedly lows in the mid-60s, highs around high 80s. the rest of the
Oh,
week.
well, it's sweater weather then
I
here.
know.
Yeah,
Brisk.
but I think it is going to rain because our computer equipment has been on the fritz.
Yeah,
Is that a technical term?
that's a good sign.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. Yeah, it's supposed to rain like 3 times a day. So
Oh,
God
wow.
willing.
Awesome.
We'll see.
Well, I think since he's been working on it.
Yeah, I just put it on.
That's fine. Okay.
And then
He's gonna-
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And then if they're separated.
Yeah.
That much, Judge.
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez is not, we're not able to make a deal, so I guess
Okay.
I need to withdraw since I'm not
All
qualified
right.
to the habitual.
Sure. Just speak with Miss Ferguson,
Okay,
and then you can still turn in your voucher for the work that you've done.
thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Thomas Reyes. Who's the attorney on Thomas Reyes? Oh, he's here.
Okay, great.
Ms. Abrams, this is a plea. Court is calling 2023 CR 7280, State of Texas versus Timothy Anthony Reyes. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state, which is Criminal Trial Division?
Jamie Rose Park, State of Texas.
And counsel, you can continue to confer there. For the defense,
Roger Pettis for Mr. Reyes.
and are you Mr. Reyes? Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Reyes, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Reyes, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of marijuana 4 ounces to 5 pounds? That's state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes,
Off the record for a moment, you can continue to confer and you can give me your answers from the table because I know you're multitasking.
How shall we judge? Here is the dismissal.
All right, thank you. Did you understand if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights? You need to speak up.
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Reyes, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's a $2,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. They will take in consideration cause number 690950, and there's to be restitution to Somerset PD for testing. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours community service restitution, and the weapon is to be destroyed in 690950. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Okay.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
State offers exhibit 1 in all attachments.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports and laboratory reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. And I'm sorry, with regards to this offense, how are you pleading?
No contest.
Okay. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, I'm going to find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. I'll defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Reyes is 19 years old. He's a high school graduate. He's worked part-time with his mother's landscaping companies. He's also taking care of some kids as well as working on his own on a graphic design program, which he hopes to enroll in January. So he's kind of getting his life on track and this kind of put him on the sidelines for a bit.
All right, how old are you?
19.
Do you have any children?
No.
Are you living with your mom?
Yes.
Why are you getting involved with this nonsense?
I was just, hanging around the wrong people. I was influenced
I'm sorry?
easy, I would say, just making bad choices.
All right, I don't understand why people let people influence them. And usually young people are let people influence them who have not been in their life for more than 2 months. As my grandmother would say, you are lucky then you are not around when people had all these cults and they're having people drink Kool-Aid, because you would have been one of those people who would have went right off with them. And I can say that because my grandmother would always tell us, I'm glad your aunt was not in New York, because she would have been right at Jonestown with everybody else, because people are easily influenced. Do you understand?
Just run.
And when you come before me and you say you are hanging out with wrong people, if I had those people in front of me and I asked them, why are you doing this foolishness? You know what they would tell me? I was hanging out with the wrong people and I'm easily influenced. And I would say, well, who are these wrong people you're hanging out with? And you know who would they name? You. Now, when you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? And you are getting drug tested today. So you might as well tell me the truth now and not have probation waste a UA cup on you. So what are you going to be positive for?
Marijuana,
How often are you smoking marijuana?
like once a week.
All right. So here's the thing. I know that people say marijuana, there's not a problem with smoking it. I understand. Have I ever smoked marijuana in my lifetime? No. But this is what I do know. You are in the state of Texas. You are not in Colorado. You are not in another state where marijuana is legal. Marijuana is still illegal in the state of Texas. And you cannot smoke marijuana while you're on probation. Do you understand?
Yes.
So there is none of this sitting out on your balcony. The weather is cool. This is the perfect time to smoke marijuana because the weather is just at that certain state. I can say that because when I was in college, that's what people would say. This is the perfect weather for smoking marijuana. And I'm like, yeah, I don't do that, but go on with your life. So you're going to have to start making better choices. If you do not, guess what's going to end up happening? You're going to be in prison or you're going to be in the Bexar County Jail.
Yes.
And you're young. People at the jail would welcome you. I would say with open arms. You wouldn't appreciate their welcome, but they would welcome you. The prison would welcome you with open arms. And you would not appreciate their welcome. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Would you like to be brought over in orange?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And is your mom, you love your mom?
Yes.
Mom don't want you here for this. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And whose car were you driving
That was my truck. Oh, wait, you're talking about
during this?
my deals.
He doesn't appreciate you having drugs in his car and smoking marijuana in his car. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication. There's a $2,000 fine that will be probated. Take in consideration 690,950. There's to be restitution to Somerset PD for drug testing. I'm going to want regular UAs, and he's to be tested for levels. We'll do the DOEP course. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. Destroy the weapon. And 690,950. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs. So what are you doing in your spare time?
Just working part-time some days throughout the week. Then when I'm off, I hope watch my sister's little kid. She's 2 years old.
All right, and how old is your sister?
She's 21, but she's a general manager at Taco Bell. So she gets late hours. So the days that she's working late, I'll help watch her daughter.
You can't be watching anybody's children when you use marijuana, you understand? So who else is at the home when you're watching the 2-year-old?
Well, sometimes my grandma's there. That's if she wants to come over to my mom's apartment.
All right, I'm gonna tell you, there's not gonna be any unsupervised contact with minors until his levels are down for marijuana use. Babies don't need to be smelling people who smell like marijuana, and they don't need people using marijuana around them. You understand? Because everything that you do, they pick up on.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I can tell you from a person who doesn't smoke cigarettes, never did, never smoked marijuana. If I walk by and I smell someone who smoked marijuana or smoked cigarettes or drank alcohol, it's like a heavy scent to me and it almost gives me a headache. So with young children, it's the same thing. And you don't want her ending up around people and they say, this baby's clothes smell like marijuana. We don't want that, do we?
No, Your Honor.
And we don't want her to start off her life in a bad situation because her uncle uses drugs. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so there's to be no unsupervised contact with minors until he produces a negative UA. I'm going to want field visits one time per month for 4 months. And then probation. After that, if everything is going well, you can have field visits however you deem is appropriate. And are you in school?
No.
So what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
Going out soon, I'm gonna try to go into graphics designing school.
All right. So if he provides a certificate or some sort of completion of some sort of trade school or school, then the 100 hours of then the 200 hours of community service hours will be waived. So you can spend your day. I always say community service hours is great and you always get something out of it. But here's the situation. You can either do 200 community service hours, you'll feel great in your heart, or you can either get a college degree or go into trade school, and those 200 community service hours will be wiped out and you will have improved yourself for a better occupation. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, probation. Is there anything else he needs? Yes, we'll do a TAP evaluation. And we'll follow the recommendations for TAP, but if TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record here on out. Everything that you do in this world, while you're on paper or under a contract with the court, anything you want to do, you need to ask yourself 2 questions. 1, is this something that could potentially result in me going to the state jail facility for 2 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. Do not come back to this court if your levels are at 0 and then they end up rising. And the probation, they send me a motion to revoke. Do not come back to me saying, oh, I got a contact high. Oh, I was around somebody else who was using, because guess what? In the conditions of your probation, you are not supposed to be around anyone who's breaking the laws of Texas. And as I said before, possession of marijuana, using marijuana is illegal in Texas. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you. Do better.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Keith Davis. Who's the attorney for Keith Davis?
Your Honor, good morning. Frankie Sandoval on behalf of Mr. Davis.
All right, Rashawn, this is a plea bargain agreement. And there are no applications.
Okay.
Court is calling 2023 CR 4938, State of Texas versus Keith Eugene Davis. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
defense?
Your Honor, good morning. Frank Sandoval on behalf of Mr. Davis.
Are you Keith Davis?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Davis, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
You, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Judge, we are waiving the habitual enhancement and proceeding with the defendant as a repeat offender.
Any objection?
No objection on behalf of Mr. Davis, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Davis, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with felon in possession of a firearm? The range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If the state is able to prove that you are a repeater, then the range of punishment will be anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am. No.
Fine. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
In my opinion, yes, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Davis, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're gonna have to start speaking up, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 8 years in the prison. There are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense,
Yes, Your Honor.
state,
Yes, Your Honor.
showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor, there have not been.
Then to the offenses charged, you plea guilty, not guilty, or no contest.
No contest.
And with regards to the repeat offender paragraph, it states, and it is further presented in and to said court that before the commission of the offense alleged above, hereinafter styled the primary offense on the 24th of September AD 1999 and cause number 1998 CR 3920 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant was convicted of the felony of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams. How do you plead? True or not true?
True.
State any evidence to support the defendant's pleas.
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
No objection, Judge.
Mr. Davis, I'm showing you what's entitled Wavering Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. The court will find the enhancement true based upon your plea of true and based upon states exhibits 1 and attachments. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, Mr. Davis presents himself here. He currently knows that his record is one that he needs to begin the process of putting behind him, and just ask the court to accept the plea bargain so that he may begin doing so.
All right, the court will, as previously stated, find you guilty, sentence you to 8 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. The court will find the enhancement true.
Sorry, Judge.
Thank you. No problem. Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. Texas has certain rules, and by now I think you know the rules and laws. If you end up with another felony, depending on what type of felony it is, your minimum is going to be 25 years in the prison. How old are you?
47.
47. You do the math. 25 years and 47 is not a good number to be at the prison with your health conditions. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You're going to have to make changes. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself living at somebody's jail and living at somebody's prison. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Are your parents still alive?
No, my father is.
All right. Do you love your father?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure he would like to see you and not have to visit you at somebody's institution. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you.
Your Honor, may I approach briefly? It's on a defendant that's not here. He's in federal custody. I just wanted to inform the court.
Mark Ivy.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
That's not a
All
good
right.
thing.
If you can talk with, because I thought maybe he was in
I've already,
federal custody.
we've been actually confirmed for the last 2 weeks, Judge. So he's not sentenced. But we're trying to figure out if there's anything that we can cut the fat off and run 1 or 2 concurrent with the federal sentence. So we are making headway, but I don't know the reset date.
Oh,
And it continues to keep getting pushed back.
all right. Just 1 second. You'll be coming up in a few minutes.
To have a doctor's appointment.
Okay, go to your doctor's appointment. Okay, thank you. All right, Alicia Marino. So where are we on this?
Good morning, Your Honor. We made an offer this morning, Judge. I think they're going to need some time. We may have a plea at the next setting, Your Honor. That's my understanding.
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct. If we could just get a plea deadline date, I think we can get it resolved at the next setting.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you'll call Miss Alicia Marino in 2 weeks for a plea deadline date, please. All right, we'll be back on October 12th. Thanks for dressing appropriately for court. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Who's here on Aaron Alvarado?
Did you want Mr. Alvarado?
Yes. Aaron Alvarado, if you'll come down. All right, today is his plea deadline date.
Yes, Your Honor. We don't have any agreement.
Okay, so you all need a jury.
So in this case, the complainant is in KC State Jail. We're attempting to have her writted over here. She's not waiving prosecution, so we kind of need to speak with her about any counter proposals.
Oh, do you guys want to call, you all, if you call the librarian at the state jail facility. We can bring her here, or y'all can call her and talk to her on the phone. The librarian will set up a phone call with y'all. If y'all want to do it that way, that seems like that may be quicker.
Sure, well, we're willing to do it that way as well. Yeah.
All right. All right, Ms. Ferguson. On this case, if we're gonna recall this for Monday, and Ms. Garza, we're currently in a jury trial. So we won't be able to give him his jury trial today. If we can do it sooner than that, we'll see if we can. Ms. Ferguson, let's come back on October 2nd.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
you're welcome.
Yes.
And then next person up is Miss Henry, Mr. Henry. And Norma, if you can help the state with do you have any objection to the coordinator helping the state with the phone call to the state jail?
Of course not.
All right, if you'll help them with the phone call to the state jail, Ms. Ferguson. Where are we on Mr. Knight? And I know you were just appointed.
Judge, it looks like one of the allegations on the motion to revoke probation, he's charged with a case out of Zavala County, a smuggling case.
Mhm.
It's my understanding the case has been dismissed. I need to verify that. The state emailed their investigator, and they got a response, but I don't believe that the information that the investigator provided has been updated. So I need to call personally and see if I can get some verification that the actual case has been dismissed, because there's only 2 allegations on that motion to revoke.
All
So if
right,
I can get a quick reset to see if I can do that,
you want to come back on this on the 2nd?
that's fine.
All right, so she'll be back on your case on the 2nd, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And we'll have you brought back.
This one.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Henry, if you can recall it for October 2nd. Who's here on Angel Gonzalez? And where is Angel Gonzalez? All right, come on down. All righty.
Judge, I do need to meet with you at some point ex parte, just very briefly. But I'll let Ms. Mitchell kind of update the court on where we're at now.
All right, where are we?
So Judge, we're here on discovery. Ms. Compton has requested all of our decedents' previous offense reports. And I pulled all the files. I can get it uploaded today.
Okay.
And then there is a cell phone download that we're having made for her right now. And then we should.
And just so the court can see that entire box is what they're going to be uploading. And we looked at our calendars, and I don't know where you're at, but I know last week I told you that I was going to preferentially set capital murder case in Carmel. What we were going to ask you is if you would be okay with setting us maybe for another discovery setting, but give us a trial setting for the week of November 14.
Okay.
That way, if I have this case on the docket, if in my other counties they try to set me, I can tell them like, sorry, but I've already got that date set aside.
Okay, let me see something. How long are you all expecting this trial to go?
We're going to go to the jury for punishment. I'm thinking it would probably at least take the entire week.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably a good week.
So you're thinking it'll take the 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th?
I would anticipate, yes.
Because the reason being is since the following week is going to be Thanksgiving,
Oh.
and jurors always have plans. And I don't think it's good to interfere with their holiday plans with a jury trial, because who knows? Maybe it'll be something that's not great for the defense if that happens, or great for the state. You just
Sure.
never know.
It could.
And I would like for people to be mentally prepared, and I don't like for us to try that case this week and then tell the jury, come back on November 27th. We'll see you
Go
then.
enjoy your holiday.
Yeah.
In the middle of a murder trial.
So
Um,
I'm thinking,
The week
If-
before that, Judge, I know I'm in trial and come out on a preferentially
no, I'm
set murder.
thinking more, if Norma will say more like November 28th or something.
That should be okay.
That should be okay. Are you,
I
you
have
said
it,
December, you're out.
the
so-
month of December, I'm gone.
All of December?
I,
Then that's not
I'll
a good
have to
day.
double check. I put in my request already, so it should be in there.
All right, we'll
So, but
put,
if we can squeeze it in,
okay, here's
that's
the
what I want to
thing.
do.
I will have you all for November 27th.
Okay.
That's a tentative date, and we'll just see where we are. Norma, can
Okay.
you set them for November 27th? All right, November 27th.
Thank you, Judge. And I probably will circle back around sometime in the afternoon, maybe this week, to talk to you ex parte about.
A motion?
Yes, well, I previously filed it, but I just need some clarification from you on a couple of things.
All
So-
right, we can talk about it now. All right, thank you.
And I'll give her the file back.
Who's here? Lisa Telsey?
I am your honor, may I approach you?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Vashon, this is going to be a plea.
No, hallway judge.
Oh, let's wait for her then. Okay. All right, Norma, I need a reset date on Mark Ivy. Do you have any idea when he's been pushed back to on the federal side?
Is that Mark Ivy?
Yes.
Oh. I don't know about.
Just give us a moment.
Mhm.
It is a vibe. I like that movie.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Judge, on that, I was unaware that, it was a federally held, because it's most of it's standardized, but I can just, shoot off an email for you.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll have Norma set this sometime in November. And of course, if they bring him over before then, we'll do it beforehand.
I'll put it in.
All right, Norma, I need a November date for Mr. Ivy. All right. And state, he's still waiting, I think, sentencing in Maverick County. And we're just waiting. Oh, there's probation. All right, probation, this is an application. Court is calling 2023 CR 6472, State of Texas versus Lisa Telsey. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state yard.
Defense.
Ed Garza from Miss Telsey.
Are you Miss Telsey?
Yes.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
We did, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Telsey, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor. I was gonna ask.
Oh, just one moment. Mr. McLean?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where did we stop?
I'm showing you. Application.
Yes. Okay, thank you. All right, Black on the record. You had a question for me?
Yes, I was gonna ask if where's the community service gonna be at, like what the location?
Probation is going to give you all of that information. Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Telsey, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of assault of a peace officer or judge bodily injury? That is a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're going to have to keep your voice up.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine.
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe, just one moment. Mr. Davidson, Mr. Davidson, Bill Davidson,
Yes.
yes. If you could put your client on the back row and speak to him there instead of behind the court reporter. All right, no problem. Where were we? I'm so sorry.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Do you believe your client has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
She does, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
She is, Your Honor.
Ms. Telsey, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Anyone promise you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes.
State.
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 8 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation and 200 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the plea?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
Any objection? All right, state, you may continue to confer.
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Chelsea, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses that the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor, if it please the court.
All right. So all of this was over somebody owing somebody $50,
Sort of, Your Honor, yes.
and then you're getting involved.
Correct, Your Honor. My client accepts responsibility for making a very bad judgment that day and
Yes,
making a bad decision.
because here's the thing that people don't understand. One, do people think people should be hitting on females? No. But as a female, you can't hit somebody and then think they're not going to hit you back. And I read the police report. So the officer is attempting to stop a fight. And then everybody else wants to get involved. You want to get involved because you're like his brother. You're saying that that's my brother who's in the fight, right? And then you're going to punch the officer, and then the officer is getting you under control. And according to this, you're still punching and kicking on him. And then somebody's like, no, don't do it. She's pregnant. Well, guess what? When people are pregnant, they should not be getting involved in altercations.
You understand?
Yes.
So how far along are you in your pregnancy?
8 months.
Do you have any other children? Are you employed? So how old are you?
20.
How are you supporting yourself?
Oh,
Like, how do you make money to eat?
I have a boyfriend that supports me.
Are you living with him?
He lives with me. I have my own apartment.
Well, how are you paying for your apartment?
It's already paid for a year through housing.
All right, so this is what I know about housing, because I used to do CPS cases. If you're on housing, your boyfriend's not supposed to be living with you. And honestly, your boyfriend's not supporting you. You know who's supporting you? Everybody in here who has a job and pays taxes. I'm supporting you. Your attorney's supporting you. All the attorneys who are in here supporting you. Anybody in the gallery who has a job is supporting you. So your boyfriend is not supporting you. And what I'm going to tell you right now, if your boyfriend is living with you and you're on housing, guess what? If the government finds out about it, which usually they do, you're going to end up having charges because they're going to want their money back. And this is the way the government works. The government doesn't tell you they know your boyfriend is living with you. They don't tell you they know that you're getting food stamps and you shouldn't get them. You know what they do? They wait till it's a felony. And then once it's a felony, then they bring charges. You understand?
Yes, sir.
How far did you go in school?
I got a high school diploma.
And what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
Getting myself together.
How?
I get a job.
And what type of job are you looking for?
Restaurant.
All right, see, here's the thing. You've decided and you made the decision to have a child with this boyfriend who can't even support himself. How old is he?
He's 22.
All right, he's 22. He can't even support himself. Y'all are both living off the government. Are you receiving food stamps? Yeah. Y'all are living off the government and you're about to bring a child into this world. And now the child is going to have one of their parents. I don't know about his criminal history, but the child is going to have one of their parents who's already on probation for a felony. And a parent who fights officers in an alley who's pregnant and not even at this point thinking about them. Because if you were thinking about your unborn child, you wouldn't have been fighting with an officer in an alley and you wouldn't have been in an alley. You understand? And if you are not careful, Child Protective Services is going to be involved in your life. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Negative.
And do you know if your boyfriend has any criminal history?
No.
Do you know or do you not know?
I don't know.
So why are you with him if you don't know if he has criminal history? Do you know how far he went to school? You're the boy explain something to you. She is on government housing. You shouldn't be living with her because the taxpayers don't want to pay for you to live with her. You need to get your own house. If she's carrying your child, which you say she is, you need to be financially able to support your child, which means you're not living off the government on her housing that's been paid up for a year that we the taxpayers are paid for. If people want to go out and have children, guess what? I'm not supposed to be the person supporting your child. Y'all supposed to support your child because I didn't agree to have a child with him. I didn't agree for you to have a child. Now, if you want the taxpayers to support your child, then what you need to do is, and I see mom holding him down, keeping him calm. You know what? If people want to play stupid games, you're going to get stupid prizes. And it's going to result in this deputy removing you from this courtroom. So if you want the government and the taxpayers to pay for you to have a child, you know what you need to do? Before y'all decide to live together and have a child, you need to come to a panel of citizens and say, I would like for you to pay for my housing. I would like for you to pay for my child. Will you agree for me to have a child? Not doing that. Y'all are just doing whatever you want to do and somebody else is taking care of your child. And when your child is born, if that's your mom, guess what? That grandmother is going to end up taking care of the child more than you. You understand? That's yes or no?
Yes.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 8 years deferred adjudication. We'll do 200 hours of community service. Vashawn, if she gets a degree, if she gets into trade school, then those hours will be waived. I'm going to order parenting classes. If she completes parenting classes, then those hours will be waived. It's going to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular UAs. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month until further notice. And I'm going to want anger management classes. Proof of employment within 90 days. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Probation, is there anything else she needs? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
From here on out, we can go off the record, from here on out, everything you do in this world while you're still under this contract with the court, any decision you make, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 20 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. And let me explain to you, I take no joy in sending people to prison. But if I feel they deserve to go to prison, I'm not going to be worried about the fact that you have a newborn baby, that you're breastfeeding or whatever. If it comes up that you need to go to prison, you're going to prison and somebody else will be raising your child. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're going to have to make better decisions. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
May I be excused?
Yes. Who is here on Eros Rodriguez?
He's not, so. Judge, my client never made it to court. We couldn't find him. I know sometimes in the past, if I'm recalling correctly, I think you've given like a time frame for us to locate him and bring him in without issuing warrants.
I do that when people have never been to this court before.
Okay.
So this is his third setting.
Yeah, and it's really odd because he really doesn't ever do this and we usually have great contact with him. So this really is, if the court's going to take action, Judge, may I request that you do a bond increase? We are on his bond.
All right.
And that would be preferential for us.
All right. We're going to go on the record. The court is calling 2023 CR 4063, State of Texas versus Eros Alejandro Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense.
James Tochi for Mr. Rodriguez, Judge.
All right. This hearing was scheduled at this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It's now 11:39 a.m. Defense, do you know where your client is?
Do not, Judge. We've made several attempts to contact him. We have always been able to get in touch with him in the past. He's never missed a court date, so this is a little odd, but no, we haven't found him yet.
All right, Deputy, did you make an announcement?
There's somebody out there.
All right, state.
Your Honor, state asked for a bond forfeiture.
All right, the court will issue a judge's warrant and remain your client without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. All right. James, did you show the intern around?
I did. He had some good OJT and kind of showed him a little snapshot of a day in the life. And
Oh, great.
I don't know what he learned, but maybe he didn't want to do this.
All right, Jonathan Dash. And then after Dash, it will be Robert Smith, Rudy Gonzalez, then Melvin Owens. All right, so where are we on this case?
Judge, I've been working with the state this morning. Hank and I've been working on this case. I think we've got something worked out, but they need to do a little bit more due diligence on another case that they're considering taking into consideration. They've had a hard time reaching the complaining witness in that case.
Okay.
And so we're asking if we can to reset this until Wednesday. That should give them ample opportunity to follow up with this complainant. And
Won't be
see
able
what
to
we're
do
doing.
on Wednesday, but Norma, can we do this, bring this back this week, but not on a Wednesday? All right, we can come back on Thursday,
Check real quick, Judge. Should be able to do it.
and that's the 28th.
At jury duty. Believe it
Oh.
or not.
Oh, can you can pop up if you pop up here first,
Yeah.
I mean, you can go down there because they do the speech and
I
then,
know. Then just go back.
Yes.
I'll do that.
all right,
do
so
that.
we'll recall you for the 28th.
Okay.
All right,
Sounds
we'll bring
good.
you back on the 28th, Mr. Dash.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Okay. See you on Thursday. I'll go. You good?
Rudy Gonzalez. Who's the attorney for Rudy Gonzalez? All right, we'll wait for that. Melvin Owens.
Yes, Your Honor. Can we approach on that one?
Sure.
I don't know if you want to hear it out here, maybe we need to go in chambers and talk about this.
All right, if you all want to step in chambers, we can.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Owens, if you have a seat and your attorney will let you know what is happening. And actually, okay, let's go in chambers. All right, can you pause this for a moment, please? Right, and state if I could have that form for Mr. Owens, please. And Deputy Mejia, let me know when the jury comes. Oh, they're not supposed to be here till 1 though. Okay. Rudy Gonzalez. Who's the attorney for Rudy Gonzalez? Who's the attorney for Kevin Curiel?
I can confirm with Mr. Wilkins and if we can just get one more research to continue on this matter. It's the first setting, first time we've been in court.
All right, where's Mr. Curiel?
Present.
Come forward, please. Do you have all the discovery and everything?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. We're gonna put you back here for October 23rd. And that will just be a discovery update.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Could I have a reset form, please? State on Curiel, that's just gonna be a discovery on that date. But if y'all work anything out, just let me know. Well, since we will not be having the jury, Dinah, we'll not be having a jury trial in the afternoon. Leave the original with the clerk.
Right.
So we're gonna have to stay a little bit longer. but Thank you. All right, who's here on Sean Schaefer? All right, if you'll come forward. All right, Mr. Schaefer, today is your plea deadline date. Ms. Kramer, where are we on that?
He, at this point is still rejecting the state's offer.
All right, Mr. Schaefer, if you're rejecting the state's offer, that means it is rejected. So you're going to be going to a jury trial. How long do you expect this trial to last?
2 days, yeah.
All right, Ms. Ferguson on Sean Schaefer, I need a jury trial date for 2 days, please. All right, we'll come back on December 4th. You'll be brought over dressed for trial. The court will no longer accept any plea bargain cases. I'm sorry, any plea bargain agreements in this case without good cause. Otherwise, you'll have to plead open to the court. Do you understand?
That's fine.
All right, you'll be brought over dressed for trial on that date. You'll be brought over dressed in trial on whatever civilian clothing you have at the jail. If you wish to be attired in something else, you'll need to speak to your attorney to do a clothing exchange. Counsel, if there's an issue with the clothing exchange, let the court know.
I will do so. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You're welcome. All right, Rudy Gonzalez. Waiting for your attorney. Have you all filled out that for Melvin Owens?
I'm finishing it up right now.
All right, thank you. After I take care of Melvin Owens, the next person up is going to be Robert Smith, and that's a plea. Is the attorney here for Robert Smith?
Just got back.
All right, thank you. Just give us a moment and we'll take that out. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, that goes for Owens. Mr. Owens, good luck to you. All right, who's here on Robert Smith?
Your judge was now looking for my client.
Ah, all right.
He was here, you know, we filled out paperwork.
I'm not sure if maybe he thought come back at 1:30 because, no? Maybe he went for a smoke break.
Okay.
I've been out for a little bit. I apologize, Judge.
Oh, no problem. All right, Norma, we need the attorney on page 9, Gabriel Bernal's attorney.
He's gonna be on, Judge.
All right, Gabriel Bernal. All right. And then we have Miss Guerrero. Whenever you're ready, just let them know.
I don't have a client.
Is he, where is he? Oh, okay, all right, thank you. All right, Norma, I need Tony Hernandez on Courtney Kretzer.
Yes, ma'am, I just texted. I texted him earlier, Judge.
Okay.
South County. Come back to lunch.
That's not good. Tell him, no.
For lunch. Breaks for lunch.
Tell him I can't see him after lunch. His client is not present. Who is his attorney? That you're saying Courtney Kretzer? Could I see the file on Kretzer, please?
That's Tony Hernandez.
All right, let me see the file.
Yeah, so I don't know. Thank you so much.
And Deputy Mejia, as soon as the jury's here, just let me know.
Yeah.
But there.
I tried it for now. Yes. Oh, wait, what happened this weekend?
So there was a grass was on fire, like.
Wait, grass on fire?
Like a fire, yeah, a grass fire, like on my way out. And so I called 911 yesterday. And said, you know, I was feeling crazy, right? And 911 has, I don't know when the last time anyone's called, but they have press 1 for EMS and for fire. So, and then press 2 for the police. So first off, that's weird, right? And then they put me on hold. Oh, please hold our representative.
Okay.
I'm like,
All right, so I have, yeah, I've been on hold for 911 before. And you know what happened to me? Well, I've been on hold twice before. One time when I used the office at the Milam building, somebody had a car accident and the SUV had flipped upside and there was fluid leaking. Of course, I'm in Lifetime movie mode now. I'm calling. I said, there may be an explosion. And they put me on hold. And then they're like, do you need fire, EMS? And I said, I think I need them all. Because I think a fire is going to start. And I said, someone's injured in the car. I can't pull them out.
it was so crazy. It was actual like, energy right now. What if I wasn't able to press 1? I don't understand.
Well, Did they want you to pick up a water hose and try to? Do not, I always tell people, let's not throw alcoholic beverages on a fire. Even though I don't drink that much, I know that should not be done. Okay, so Bashan, Thursday at noon, we are breaking, and guess what we're doing? We are having our book club meeting on Don't Let Her Stay. Do people still remember their questions and how upset they were?
I don't have a good number for my client, Judge.
Oh, is he on bond?
He is on bond.
Oh, call the bondsman.
Oh, no.
Yeah. All right. Who's here on Kong?
I am judge
All right. Where is Mr. Kong?
in Colorado, judge.
Oh, you want to have him by Zoom?
He does not speak English, judge.
He is, I don't know if you recall, we had a translator, it was like Hakka Khan from the little part in China. I remember the plea on him.
All right. So I know you all are asking for early termination.
Yes, judge. So there is an issue, I guess, with the transfer. You did grant permission for him to move to Colorado. I guess there's an issue with the transfer, and probation is needing him to move back to San Antonio.
No, what I put in my motion, well, on the docket sheet, and what I ordered was the defendant is allowed to travel to Colorado until transfer because he had a relative that was ill.
Okay. He is living in Colorado, and
I mean, that's what travel means. He's not staying there. He's traveling to Colorado because he has a ill relative. Am I right?
Yes, Your Honor. So you did give him permission to transfer, and there's a whole process of there's a whole process that needs to take place in order for us to actually transfer his case, because of the type of case it is and so forth. So he needs to report in person in order to get all of the paperwork done. This is not something that can be done on Adobe Sign or anything like that. So until his case is actually accepted in Colorado, he's technically not able to reside there.
But he's able to travel there.
With the
Is that
court's
right?
permission, but he's able to travel, but he has to come back. Like,
All right. So this is what we're going to do. This is me. Today is the day where I had a lot of problems to solve.
and I do want to point out to the court that he has completed all of his classes he needed to take. His community service hours are done, and he has paid off his entire balance.
And judge, it is a plea to a assault family violence misdemeanor class A.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's the thing. If the state is not going to agree to this early termination, which because you all are here, it appears that that will not be the case. This is what I suggest happen. He make an appointment with probation here in Bexar County. Bexar County, before he even comes here, needs to make sure that there's an interpreter available for him. And then he comes down, he fills out all the paperwork, and then he travels back to Colorado to be with the ill relative.
So I think the issue that we're having is because of the type of case. It wouldn't be like this. Are you saying that you want him to have an open travel permit, or?
Because my understanding was the complainant is not there. And I think the whole point is you all don't want him with the complainant anymore. And it appears that he doesn't want to be with the complainant.
Correct. And his rights were terminated, judge, and the complainant is in CPS custody.
Yeah. So
here in Texas.
So that's my suggestion.
Your Honor, if I may, I need a contact. Before you do that, I need a contact management.
Okay. And see if they can do it by, because I'm assuming they want him to sign paperwork.
Yeah, yes, Your Honor, and I've already gone through. Yes.
Okay. Would it help if I call somebody? Or is legally, because I don't know the ins and outs. I always tell people I don't know everything. People may think I do, but I do not. So is there something where legally probation is not allowed to do that?
That's what I believe, but I just want to double check.
All right, if you can check with that,
Yeah, and the state would agree to any accommodations so he doesn't have to actually.
because he's only been on probation since 2023.
Yes, Judge, I
Yeah,
think it's
since
been like 6
April.
months.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is that probation says for him to come here, it could take anywhere up to 45 days.
So the
And-
actual transfer would be anywhere from 7 to 45 days.
Okay. All right, so let's find out the answer to those questions and we'll go from there.
Okay.
All right, thanks. Yes, with your guy. All right, so this is what we'll do. I will recall it for tomorrow, but he left the court without permission. So he needs to be here by tomorrow. If he's not here,
I was actually gonna ask, my understanding is that you're gonna be here this afternoon. I'm getting recalled this afternoon in another court anyways. I think he misunderstood me, even though he was told by your staff to be here. I think he might have misunderstood me to come back at 1:30. My
All right.
guess is that he'll be here at 1:30. If it's okay with you, I'll come back to check on
we'll
that.
do that. We'll do it exactly at 1:30.
Be here at 1:30.
All right, can you have this? This will come back at 1:30. Courtney Bexar, if you'll come forward. We're gonna have you come back at 1:30.
1:30,
Mhm.
okay.
All right, Rudy Gonzalez. Who's his attorney? All right. Did she know she had him? Oh, hasn't his other case been reset? Or no? I don't think Rudy Garza was with Rudy Gonzalez wasn't with Key. Oh, no, he was. What date did we set it for? Yes, what date did we set it for?
I don't know. I don't have a date for that. You said,
Is this the one that was going to be coming in a second degree? Oh, he had other cases that are unindicted. All right, when do we reset her other case, Mr. Knight?
October 2nd.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, come forward, please. We're going to bring you back on October 2nd. That'll give your attorney a chance to look over things, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll see you back on October 2nd.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. And state on Bridget Garza, she is representing now Mr. Rudy Gonzalez on an authorized use. And I see he has other cases that have not been indicted. If you all could see if there's any information out there. If there's not, there's not.
I think I'll talk.
All right, thank you. And then this will be back at 1:30. So the cases that are coming back at 1:30 is going to be Courtney Kretzner, Robert Smith, what other cases do we have left in the box?
Monica's client, and so is Basil's client.
All right. So are those the only cases that remain on the docket other than the 1:30?
That's that I know that so far.
I got a response on Mark Ivy.
Yes.
His federal sentencing is in November. They didn't get an exact date.
Let me see. All right, let me see what day we put it on.
November 13th.
Okay, November 13th.
No, November 2023. But that's what it's set.
No.
I don't know when he's gonna get back here because the sentencing federally is gonna be since November 2023.
Okay.
So after sometimes.
All right.
Might as well just keep it. and then
Yeah, we'll keep it and we'll see
so
what
he-
happens.
But it did notate on there that he will be transferred back after it's a federal sentence.
Okay. All right. Just leave it where it is and we'll see, because they may push it back again. Oh, no, 1:30 is, if you all want to stay to do the pleas now, we can. The 1:30-ish time is for Tony Hernandez on Courtney Kretzner and John Pettis. We're gonna see what happened with Mr. Smith, because Mr. Smith is missing. Dinah, you want to go ahead and take a break? Yeah, because we're waiting for them to get their plea paperwork together. Yes. Okay. Diana, you can still take a short break. Yeah, yeah, take a short break. All right, while you all are doing the plea paperwork, I'll be right back. Just give me 5 minutes. All right, thanks.
Wait until 30.
What was your first place? Melted, but I'm gonna eat it. Hard enough.
Yeah, but you know what? Oh, wait. Yes. That's awesome. Did you? Never. It was time. Starting early. Yeah, well, it was. But before that, I had to be on. Okay. Te van a jurar. Bingo mañana.
Joseph's gonna finish.
No, that's not going. Then he had. Oh, he has. Yeah. I think I had 80 something, he had like 180.
One of the leagues I saw right now. And then one league that I didn't have access to, I don't have anything. Yeah. Is that it right? Let's see. Okay. Well, I mean, I. Just. Put on there, see, I see that. But we won't put on. Excuse me, yeah.
If something weird happens, resurfacing.
But you know more about it.
I got it. Okay. I just wanted to clear that. Okay, yeah. It's probably.
I don't know why.
That's the JM for that one.
The JN, okay, so all I have is.
Okay.
Ya cuando llega la intérprete, van a seguir con el declaración. El señor Joseph lo va a hacer.
There's still the JN.
Ms. Guerrero, are you ready?
Waiting on our interpreter. Judge.
Okay.
And the file is.
Okay. Well, I will review the file. And have the immigration issues already been taken care of?
Oh, he understands that he is subject to deportation. He already has the.
All right, thank you. All right. Once the interpreter sets everything up, we'll proceed. No, it's not one. Oh, there are people back there. Probation and the attorneys on that other case. And then Deputy Mejia, when all of the jurors are here, just let me know. If they come earlier, I'll take care of it. Okay. And everyone, just one moment. I have to answer this call.
Hello.
No, you can ask.
Ready? I'm sorry, everybody. It's been a very, very hectic day. Is there something you can put in front of very, an
Monday.
extremely hectic day?
Mondays are supposed to be this way.
Oh my gosh, there are about 6 things that I'm trying to juggle. Electricity out with my mom, which is not a good thing. Why it's out? I don't know. Maybe they had a heavy rain. Medical appointments. Things that are happening in the back chambers. It's just, so we're going to get it done because that's what we do in the 187th, but bear with us. It's still going to be a great Monday.
Judge, before we go on the record on this, I don't know, did they mark down which count we're going on?
Let me see. Count 1.
Count 1? Okay. Good, thank you.
All right, if I could have Mr. Jimenez come down.
Yes.
But it's still going to be a beautiful day.
Detenga esto, por favor. Viéndola pues, contestando en español.
Let me see, I'm trying to read that, your shirt.
¿Qué dice su camisa?
Ah, okay, I remember that.
Dice que se va a acordar de lo que dice su camisa.
All right, court is calling
Se llama la causa.
2023 CR 4823. State of Texas versus Willon Galeas Jimenez. Could I have parties announced for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense.
The attorney record is Monica Gadetto. Joseph Stateson standing in for her. Ms. Gadetto had prepped and for a plea. And we explained that I was going to stand in to finish the plea. And Mr. Jimenez, would you give this judge permission for me to do the plea in place of Ms. Gadetto?
Yes. All right, and we do have an interpreter here. If you could raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
You can lower your hand, and if you'll state your name for the record.
Arlene Abrams, license number 2081.
You're here so much, I'm gonna memorize your license number.
I know those numbers.
All right, Mr. Jimenez, all of the documents that I'm going to review with you are in English. Were those documents explained to you in Spanish?
Yes.
And did you understand all of the documents?
Yes.
And counsel, it's my understanding that Ms. Guerrero does speak Spanish. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And does she speak it fluently?
She does.
And I noticed that you were here in court with Ms. Guerrero when she was going over the paperwork with Mr. Jimenez. Did she explain that paperwork to him in Spanish?
She did, Your Honor.
All right. Counsel, have you received all of the discovery and did you review it with your client?
We have, Your Honor.
The court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Jimenez, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we're proceeding on count 1 alone, waive the remaining counts.
Any objections to the waivers of counts, the remaining counts?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Jimenez, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand? You're charged with the offense of aggravated assault against a security officer. That is a first-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you enter a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. Understand?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, that's right.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jimenez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
No.
No.
Counsel, has your client had an opportunity to speak with an immigration attorney?
There was no immigration attorney. However, Monica Guerrero had explained that he would be deported as a result of this plea. He would not legally be allowed to return into the United States lawfully. And he currently has a parole hold. And he knows that he will be taken into custody, into prison, and deported after he finishes his time. And knowing that he still wishes to go forward today.
Is that correct, Mr. Jimenez?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Did you understand the consequences of entering into a plea agreement in this case and the impact it will have on your immigration status?
Yes.
You understand that consequences in this case of pleading no contest or guilty could result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, or the denial of naturalization.
Yes.
Do you understand those consequences?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to enter into a plea agreement?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargainer page with your attorney? Did you understand that plea bargain page?
Yes.
According to the plea bargain agreement, state is proceeding on count 1. There's to be 7 years in the prison. And there are grand jury numbers that are being taken in consideration: 79719, 27, 28, 29, 70. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense in count 1, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State exhibit number 1 with all of its attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Jimenez, did you review the document entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulation with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. Court has reviewed the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We would just ask you follow the agreement and give him all his back time credit.
All right, court will follow your agreement. The court will sentence you to 7 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. There is to be an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. Court will take in consideration grand jury number 79719, 27, 793, 728, 2970. There's to be no illegal reentry. That's a double negative. I'm sorry. There should be no entry into the United States unless it's done legally. And again, there's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. And I'm sorry, that other grand jury number is 793730. All right, is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
Nothing from defense.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. So, Mr. Jimenez, whatever your country of origin is, that's where you're going to be sent back to after you complete your prison sentence here. Do not come back here unless you come back legally. If you come back and you're not here legally, what's going to end up happening is you will have a case here in the state courts as well as in the federal court. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Who's here on Joseph Wayland Griffin? Court is calling 2020. Thank you so much for coming. Court is calling 2023 CR 7014, State of Texas versus Joseph Wayland Griffin. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Carl Bass for defendant, Your Honor.
Okay. And are you Mr. Griffin?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Griffin, showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we're waiting count 2 to proceed on count 1 with the enhancements.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Griffin, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with unlawfully carrying a weapon with a felony conviction? If the state is able to prove the repeater count paragraph, oh, it's been a Monday, then your range of punishment will be anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea? If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial? A right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent.
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able, I'm so sorry. It's a day, it's a day. All right, did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, he has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, he was, Your Honor.
Mr.
It
Griffin?
is.
All right, thank you. Mr. Griffin, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 1 in the repeater count. Punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. There are no applications. They are taken in consideration JN 2126028. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
With regards to the repeat enhancement allegation, which states, and is further presented in and to said court that before the commission of the offense alleged above on the 13th day of September 2019 and cause number 2019 CR 4951 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant was convicted of the felony of possession of controlled substance. Penalty group 1 to 4 grams. How do you plead? True or not true?
True.
State any evidence
Yes, state offer, state exhibit number 1 with all these attachments, Your Honor.
No objection, Your Honor.
showing you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney?
Yes,
Did you
Your Honor.
understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulations of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. Right. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will find you guilty and the court will find the enhancement true based upon your plea of true in states exhibits 1 and attachments. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, just ask the court to follow the plea bargain and negotiate with the state on this case.
All right, the court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 6 years in the prison. Court is finding the enhancement true. Court will give you credit for any time served. Taking consideration JN 2126028. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing from either side?
State, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to go off the record. I see your tattoo is of the Grim Reaper. Do you want the Grim Reaper to one day find you at the Bexar County Jail or somebody else's jail or at prison? Or would you rather be in the free world?
Rather be home with my family, Your Honor.
All right, so If you continue doing what you're doing, the next time you are out here in the free world and you do something of this nature, depending on what you charge with, your minimum is going to be 25 years. And you know how Texas is. If you get the 25 years, you're probably going to be doing a majority of that 25-year sentence. Do you understand?
Yeah, sure.
How old are you?
27.
You're 27. You've made your life more difficult than it needed to be. So, do you have children?
No, Your Honor.
That's a good thing because you're not ready. But your parents, I'm assuming, are still here. I don't think they ever dreamed that their child would be going in and out of prison. Do not become institutionalized. Fast money is usually not good money. And I will tell you, the people that I've represented before and what I've seen in my time on the planet, when you make fast money and it's money that's not made in the correct way, that money just goes through your fingers like water. You don't even realize what you spent it on. You have nothing to show for it. So for your fast life and the fast money that you're trying to make, the only thing you have to show for it is prison time, jail time. Don't come back here for this nonsense. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you planning on getting more tattoos? Maybe. Oh, that's okay. So what's up with the face mask tattoo? That looks like from Maximum Overdrive.
This one?
Yes.
It's a laugh now, cry later.
Oh, laugh now, cry later. Well, but sometimes people laugh and cry at the same times. And then sometimes people are saying, I got to laugh so I won't cry.
Yeah.
All right. But if you check Maximum Overdrive with Emilio Estevez, that looks like the face that was on the diesel. But good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay.
All right. Do we have some people left?
Robert Smith is here in the courtroom, but his attorney is not.
All right, Robert Smith. You don't have to come back at 1:30. We were waiting for you. Oh, no problem. That's what the attorney told us. He said, I think I may have told him 1:30. So we'll take up your plea at 1:30. Everyone, we're in a brief recess till 1:30. But hey, we don't have to come back after that.
Gentleman's raising his hand.
Yes?
I just reset mine.
Oh, you need to speak to your attorney. Were you here on time? No, my question is, you're sitting on the front row. This is not Baptist church. Now, when you're at a church, they usually tell people who are trying to sit on the back row, come down to the front. This is not the church. So the only reason why you're on that front row is because, yes. So what people need to understand, attorneys have cases on their schedule. And they think, oh, let me just stop here because this is going to be a simple thing. So they go there first. And then their client is not on time and it throws their whole schedule off. Yeah. Yeah. So you need to be back at 1:30. You can't just get a reset. Okay. All right. You can mute us. Oh, and could I have this attorney's file? It's for who? Mr. Smith? Where's the guy for Otero's client?
I think the door is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I had to leave, let my guy in.
Oh, that's okay. All right, could you have your client come up, please? All right, court is calling 2023 CR 5634, State of Texas versus Robert Smith. Can I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Zach Dunn for the state.
Defense,
John Pettis for defense.
are you Mr. Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Smith, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, to all of that.
All right, you need to make sure you keep your voice up so the court reporter can hear.
I did. I understand it.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of violation sex offender registration annually? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Judge.
Do you believe he is currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Smith, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I did.
According to the plea, punishments be assessed at 4 years in the prison. The state recommends community supervision, and there's to be compliance with Chapter 62 registration. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes, Judge.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Judge.
Outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation and the sex offender unit. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Not sure about the tap.
Oh, that's an evaluation to determine if you have a drug or alcohol problem.
I can step back and inform him of
Sure.
that.
Right. Yes.
All right.
On the same page.
So did you understand that those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Your Honor. State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
Showing you the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Did, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I just asked that you follow the agreement, Judge.
All right. Mr. Smith, you understand you're supposed to register?
Yes.
You can't miss registering. Whether you think it's wrong or not, if it says that you have to register, you have to register.
Okay. There were threats against my life. So
I'm sorry, what?
I was just, it's something I went over with him. I understand that I need to do it. There were some circumstances, not something I normally do or, but it happened and I'm here to face it.
Okay, because there are certain offenses that I would always tell my clients are sort of like strict liability. The only question is, did you do A, B, and C? And if you didn't do A, B, and C, then you're guilty, even if you have explanations.
Yeah.
For some of these strict liability, I call them strict liability offenses. The only excuse that would probably be acceptable, oh, I was at the hospital in a coma.
Well, it was life or death, but it wasn't me being in the hospital. I had somebody threatening to actively kill me. I had police reports and everything. I was just trying to hide from them for a while, plus a couple other things that were no excuse, but there was a bunch of different circumstances. And like I said,
Yeah, but here's the thing,
Made
if
the
that's the
mistake.
case, where you're doing that and you're filing a police report, that's when you talk to that detective or whoever it is and say, by the way, I need to register. I'm afraid to register, and this is why I'm afraid to register.
I did. I totally understand that, Your Honor.
Okay.
I did. They didn't help me.
All right.
That should be in the police report with the original detective statement because
Well, people need to help people when they ask for it. That's my motto.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So are you employed?
I am.
What do you do?
I'm an automotive detailer.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 4 years in prison, suspended and probated for the 2 years. There's to be chapter 62 registration. Proof of employment within 30 days. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. No unsupervised contact with minors. We'll do the TAP evaluation. If there are no issues with TAP or no issues with drugs, then you'll be fine. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. And you'll be with the SO unit. And regular UAs. And we'll do field visits once every 3 months until further notice. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
I understand.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
I understand.
All right, good luck to you. In this court, communication is key, all right?
ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Maybe excused.
Yes, you may be excused. All right. And we're going to come back tomorrow at 9 a.m. And I think we have our docket and then